Hello everyone, welcome to StudyIQ English. If you are following the news regularly and if you flipped over the newspaper today, then you know that APEC is in the news right now. So last week the OPEC Plus was in the news big time regarding the fluctuation in oil prices, and today it is the APEC that is making breaking news. So what is APEC? Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation, a 21-member group from the countries of the Pacific Rim who want a free trade structure in entire Asia Pacific. It is in the news right now because the leaders here, as a part of APEC Economic Leaders Summit, are now heading towards 32nd meeting, the 32nd edition of the Economic Leaders Summit of 2025 is now going to happen in South Korea, and various leaders across the world from the top-notch economies are now coming here to discuss. So what is APEC and what is so special about the 2025 agenda is what we ask. Another important thing we ask is that why is India not a member? Has India tried to gain membership? Then what is the reason why India exactly is not a member? So talking about APEC itself, let's understand that APEC was created back in 1989, okay? That was when APEC came to force. It was created as a regional economic forum to improve, enhance, expand growing interdependence of Asia Pacific region. What's the main objective? The main objective has been to promote balanced, inclusive, sustainable, innovative and secured growth. To expand regional economic integration, no wonder the topmost countries, the topmost leading economies of the world are a part of the APEC. Interestingly, APEC doesn't say country. APEC always uses the word economy. Okay, so top-notch economies are member here. So it is in the news right now because the 32nd meeting is now happening in South Korea. Leaders of the world are here. The theme is building a sustainable future. APEC operates in a very non-binding fashion, which means the decisions that are taken at APEC are based on consensus, agreement, coordination. They are not legally binding on the members. They believe in a very voluntary approach rather than creating treaty-based obligations. But it is a very important organization nonetheless because 70% of world's economic growth has been witnessed by APEC during the first 10 years of its existence. So that's the sheer importance. Now, if you remember 2 days back, I have spoken to you about the ASEAN, because we all know the Indian leadership could not be physically present in ASEAN. And yet, it was a very important moment that was happening in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. So don't get confused there. This is now happening in South Korea. Now, talking about a body that achieved about 70% of world's economic growth within first 10 years of its coming to existence, all because it is a group of elite economies. Now, looking at 2025 priorities of APEC. What does APEC prioritize in its meeting in 2025? The clear-cut priority will go to the trade war, the tariff war between China and the US. Recently, if you are aware, China announced some kind of export control, some export regulations on the supply of rare earth materials. We also know that China leads the global supply chain in refining, processing and exporting REE, rare earth elements, which are very vital to create photovoltaic batteries, solar cell batteries, electronic vehicle components as well as smart technology. Even to make a transition towards green energy, the countries today need REE and China dominates that. So US got very triggered. In fact, United States President Mr. Trump was planning a visit to China, but he cancelled it just after China announced export curbing of REE. But the trade war is going on for a very long time. Initially, when President Trump had announced the tariffs, the high tariffs, China was one of the countries who was targeted. Later, with negotiation, the 140% tariff was reduced back to 30%, but still the war across major sector continues. Second important priority for APEC is going to be the overall decline in the gross domestic product. to about 2.6%, a major fall since 2024, all because of the trade war that's going on right now. Exports. Let's look at the decreasing amount of exports. Now, the whole idea of having APEC is to promote sustainable economic integration, to expand trade between the Pacific Rim countries and throughout the Asia-Pacific area. But today, owing to the high tariff regime, naturally, the total export volume has gone down. That's a matter of concern. There is uncertainty. Uncertainty as President Trump once again threatened China that we might once again increase your tariff structure if you continue to put upper limit on your rare earth metal export. Now, another agenda of APEC is to improve the participation of local communities, indigenous communities when it comes to economic development. Apart from that, there are few other agendas on the table, and one key agenda will also be to look at expanding internet and digital based economy. They are creating a roadmap for 2025 to meet new challenges like cyber security. Artificial intelligence ethics. Now, one more report came in the newspaper today. That's the Hindu for today. And it was very interesting to know that among various countries of Asia, it is, in fact, in India that a lot of people still do not have any awareness about AI, about the kind of dangers that they confront when it comes to the use of synthetic, fake, AI-generated content online. So that's why cyber security, AI security has become a key agenda in APEC as well. Data privacy, e-governance, and bridging the digital divide, sharing the best practices between the partners to promote more digital literacy. Now, which was the state in India which created the milestone by becoming the first 100% digitally literate state? You can let me know in the comment box. If you remember, we did speak about it. Another issue is climate change. Yes, for the APEC countries, the ongoing tensions are also about climate issues. Because now we also understand that the world is heading towards a very important meeting that's known as Conference of Parties 30. It's going to happen in Belém in Brazil. 10 years have been completed since the country signed up for Paris Agreement 2015. Now we are almost near the 2030 agenda to cut down greenhouse gases and carbon emission, and still according to United Nations, most countries have not even updated their latest nationally determined contributions, including India. India updated back in 2022. Many other countries from EU have not submitted. So that's another agenda. Climate change is at the top of APEC agenda. Then, yes, they are also focusing on existing goals such as the Bangkok goals and the bio-circular green economy goal to create a renewable energy-based circular economy, reducing carbon footprint among the members. Now, when I talk about reducing carbon footprint among the members, a very interesting things come to my mind, and that is the recent India-UK agreement. If you are following news, you might be aware, because I do discuss this every day during the newspaper analysis session in the morning, that how India and UK are now gearing up to sign the 2035 10-year roadmap of their relationship. A key agenda is integrating the carbon markets. Carbon financing, the green financing is what you call it. So today, under an agreement called CBAM, that's going to be integrated between India and European Union. But that has certain debates going on right now. So that reminds me of how a very key agenda of any trade agreement nowadays in the modern society is becoming integration of carbon commitments, environment protocols. And here also the countries are talking about that. Plus other agendas are energy cooperation, food security, much better supply chains. So if all this is going to be discussed in the APEC, there is another intriguing question that comes into mind, that if APEC is such a big organization representing 2.9 billion people, it represents about 60% of the global GDP. It is about 48% of the global trade. It always calls its members as economies, not countries. Why? Because APEC wants to accommodate certain such societies, certain such regions such as Hong Kong and Taiwan, which are very important partners, but they are not sovereign countries yet. So therefore, to accommodate The membership of Hong Kong, Taiwan, the non-sovereign entities, the word being used in APEC is economies, not countries as such. What are some very important frameworks under APEC? The Bogor Goals, 1994, to encourage free open trade investment in the whole of Asia Pacific. APEC, the Putrajaya Gaya Vision. The Putrajaya Vision of APEC 2040. It's about open, dynamic, resilient, peaceful Asia Pacific by 2040. So another commitment that you need to remember, apart from all the others that you are learning for the UPSC 2047, 2030 and 2070. For those who are following the lectures regularly, I think you must have understood why I said 2047 and 2070. What is India going to achieve in these years? Do let me know in the comment box. So the focus areas will be trade liberalization, digital economy, supply chain resilience, green renewable energy, and finding a quick solution to US-China trade dispute. Otherwise, the agenda of APEC will not see the success that it wants to. Now, a very big question comes, why is India not a member? Because it has a long history to itself. It was back in 1990 that India expressed interest in joining the APEC, but APEC has a very strange protocol. It often creates a ban, a prohibition on expanding its membership. It doesn't allow new members, and that was done back in 1977, so India's membership claim was not fulfilled. Similarly, there are other reasons as well. For example, all these countries are Asia-Pacific countries, whereas India is categorized as Indo-Pacific. No wonder India is a part of other Indo-Pacific focused forums like the Quad, the Quadrilateral Dialogue. No wonder India-UK friendship is on the rise. Exercises like Malabar Konkan, India's presence in the Indian Ocean region, the Sagar Mala, the Sagar, the Mahasagar initiatives. All these are a witness to India's rising blue economy power, but in the Indo-Pacific. These are all the countries of Asia-Pacific. So professionally, in a very technical sense, India is not getting categorized in this. Then India's market reforms. From 1990s, India adopted 1991 LPG reform. That was not at pace with the quick reforms that happened, quick liberalization reforms that happened in APEC countries. That's one reason India didn't cope that time. And then China reportedly has once again kept on resisting, having a problem with regards to India's entry within the mainstream APEC. So these are certain reasons. So since 1977, APEC has maintained a ban, a moratorium, a prohibition on accommodating new members. But if India was a member of the APEC, then what could be the advantage for the country? Yes, advantage was that India will be a part of a global forum that contributes to about 60% of global GDP and 48% of global trade. Given India's Make in India initiative, Atmanirbhar Bharat venture, India could have taken care of India could have got connected with a large dynamic market of the Asia Pacific. That was one advantage. Reduced tariff would have meant benefit for Indian exports at a time when already India is struggling with US-backed tariff regime and diversifying its market. Plus, it would have also provided a better platform for India to negotiate with major world powers like US, China and Japan. So as of now, although India is not a full-scale member, yes, it does participate as an observer and partner dialogue, through partnership dialogue. So that's what India has been engaging in. And now quickly let me show you the practice question. And the practice question says, consider the following statements regarding ASEAN strategic plans and agenda for 2025. Okay. First is, one of the key initiatives under the master plan on ASEAN Connectivity 25 is developing seamless, that is, without any obstacle, logistics across member states. Second, ASEAN's social cultural community. Blueprint 2025 emphasizes only socio-cultural integration and does not cover environmental resilience and disaster risk response. And 3, under the ASEAN Enabling Master Plan 2025, The mainstreaming of rights of people with disabilities is treated as a core priority. So which of these statements do you think are valid? Now the answer is already there. You can self-verify, but more than giving the answer, you need to be clear about the concept. So try to answer. If there is a doubt, you can definitely let me know about that. Okay, and now before I take your leave, a quick reminder, the 2026 target year has now just one day remaining to enroll for the one last chance for the target year 2026, because Diwali sale ends tomorrow. Okay, this is the last opportunity to use code SPLIVE and enroll for a course that provides you access to all GS subjects. Yes. Then heavy discount on optionals plus CSAT, mentorship and answer writing practice as well. Current affairs, daily news, all of that at a price of 7499, literally a throwaway price. But then only one day remaining. So do spread the word around and do join the course if you are taking the exam in 26 by using code SPLIVE. And in case you are writing the exam next year, or say next to next year, 27 or 28, then also exciting offers are there. You can use the same code SPLIVE here and enroll for a course 18999 only for 2027. And what do you get? As I said, all GS courses. October evening batch is already going to start now. Plus English, Hindi, all the mediums will be provided with CSAT guidance as well as heavy discount on the optionals, and the same goes for 2028 as well. All you need to do is use code SPLIVE, a price that's 32,999, but that gives you more than 1 year of thorough professional guidance. So no need to worry about your preparation when mentors are there to guide you. All you need to do is to use the code and join the StudyIQ family. Thank you so much.